TIFU and almost took the long sleep. I was encouraged to post here after detailing an experience I had about 7 to 9 years ago now. Buckle up. I worked as a maintenance guy, which means at times I gotta be there at odd hours to perform inspections with fire guys. I had a property that was about 60 miles away, and needed a fire alarm to go off at 5 a.m. prior to tenant arrival. It's the day before. About 5 p.m. I take my car. On the street in front of my house, weather had recently shifted temps, so all my tires were reading warning. It's a dual exhaust car, and it's running so that I can use this piece of shit compressor. Think like cheap Walmart cigarette lighter air pump. Struggles to add 5 psi. It's taking time. There's a light breeze, but it's only helping to push my car exhaust into my face. This whole time I'm near the pump and tire being inflated, so I spent a lot of time crouched or sat on the curb. I'll take this time to reiterate that this entire time, I said it was about 20 minutes, but I don't know for sure. Time got wonky. My car is running, and I can smell the exhaust. It stinks, but I'm outside. Tires after an eternity are good. I'm ready for my journey in the morning. I'll be leaving at 4 a.m. Alarm set for 3. Finished the night unremarkable. Conversed with wife. Got pity for having to wake up stupid early. The usual. So, I have already fucked up. As of now in the story, nobody has a clue that I am walking dead. Alarm goes off at 3 a.m. I fumble with stopping it, and in my attempt to get out of bed I flat out fell, crushing a hamper. While I'm on the floor, my wife woke to that noise. All she hears is, "Ow," and then I get up and stumble to the bathroom. She laughed off my stupidity and went back to sleep. I took a shower, and I felt like I was drunk as shit. Must just be tired. I'll shake it off when I start getting going. My memory of all of this gets spotty, so I am using what I was told as well just for context. Got in the car, backed out driveway, ran over trash can. Shit, I must not be okay. Pulled back into garage. Closed door. Car off, all that. Trash can out in the street on its side. Go inside. To bed. Lay down. Out like a light. Wife assumed that I called in sick when I came back in. Surmised from the fall out of bed thing I wasn't having a great morning. So a couple hours go by. She wakes up and leaves for her work. I am still just out. I've worked at this place now for about 5 years. I have a strong working relationship with my coworkers. We all know each other's spouses and kids' names. I get a text that somehow wakes me from sleep, and I manage to respond via text to my property manager. She read it and was calling me immediately. I wish I still had the text, but it was basically gibberish with autocorrect lending a hand, and she knew something was off. So she called me. I picked up and we spoke for a second or two, and then she hung up on me. So I'm like, she's mad or something, whatever. Back to sleep. I just really want to sleep. By now it is probably around 9 a.m. My wife comes back home and tries to wake me up. Not super effective. I got really spotty here, but she basically helped me to the car. And I remember her fucking slamming gears. We both drove manuals and she was hammered down. I was calm. I just wanted to keep sleeping. So tired. Fucking tired. Got to her. No wait for this guy. Straight to a room. Oxygen covering my face. IV in. They kept telling me I need to stay awake, but sleep was right there. I dozed off so many times. I was being scolded by the doctors. I remember being confused. Like, WTF did I do, bro? Stop talking down to me. Just trying to take a little nap. I'm not sure exactly how severe it was, but based on the look on their faces, Didn't seem like a sure thing I'd be leaving out the same doors I came in. I remember being concerned and so tired. So tired. This entire experience carves a gigantic black spot in my memory. I've had to piece it together from broken memory and accounts from my wife. I know had I not been taken to hospital I'd still be sleeping. I have my property manager to thank for calling my wife. She would have been gone for another 5 to 6 hours that day. I know I would have been in the bed still, with the broken hamper still under my side. TLDR. TIFU by giving myself carbon monoxide poisoning, not catching the symptoms, and almost taking the long sleep. If you made it here, use this account as a warning. Be aware. People said relatives will have car on in garage with door open. To me, now, not worth it. If you smell exhaust, you need to shift position. Upwind. Move. This wasn't a rapid progression. I was coherent after the damage was done, while my body was still replacing oxygen with poison, suffocating myself from the inside. Be safe out here in this crazy place, strangers. This blew up. Thank you for all the awards and comments. I'm trying to keep up and read and comment back to you guys. The ones I have seen so far are super sad, scary, and revealing. Carbon monoxide. Got it right here, thanks guys. Or did I? Is silent, sneaky, and deadly. Detectors can save lives. Read the comments to see just how real it is. Thank you guys again. Buy a detector. I will donate some when some things lift off to a local organization. Or a church? I'll find a way to get some out. My thoughts with you. My uncle is the person who holds the dubious honor of having gone the furthest with carbon monoxide poisoning and has come back. He and his partner had carried a small fire into their bedroom in a house they were renovating in Morocco. He was a borderline vegetable for months whilst it cleared, but at least they managed to get him to fly back to the UK whilst he was declining. Thankfully he's pretty much himself again. I'm pleased to hear you're okay. Oh wow. I had no idea the effects could last long after exposure like that. I always thought it was immediate asphyxiation or you're good. Thanks so much for sharing this story. Carbon monoxide actually binds to hemoglobin in your red blood cells more strongly than oxygen. This is why it takes so long for the effects to fade. Your blood can't carry oxygen with the carbon monoxide bound, and the tight bond makes it take a long time to get displaced. Shit, you have an incredible manager. Oh damn. I don't know how I'd ever repay that property manager if I had been in the same situation. Glad you lived to tell the tale. Long read, but definitely worth it. I'm glad you made it out okay. Glad you're okay. I didn't know it could last like that. My friends almost got it one winter back in high school. I stayed at the house and played NHL 2003 while they took the car to go pick up a friend. Well, I guess they went down a dirt road and got stuck. Kept trying to get out. And started getting sleepy. My one friend realized what was happening and made them all get out of the car. I thought CO poisoning only affected people for as long as they were in that cloud. This is unexpected, but good to know. Glad you're okay. Up. And make sure you get something as a thank you for you, property manager. She deserves it. To hijack the thread. If you have a fireplace or gas stove or a furnace, invest in a carbon monoxide detector. As the story tells, CO poisoning makes you very sleepy. A CO detector could save your life. Here in Ontario, an entire family died due to CO poisoning. And it is now mandatory to have a CO detector if you have any potential source of CO in your home. Sorry to sound preachy, but this story illustrates how easily it can happen. Glad your coworker was on the ball. We had a carbon monoxide leak in our boiler a few years back, so it's 4 a.m. Mrs. myself and 2 kids. Plus dog and cat are all asleep. Something rouses me from the depths of slumber. WTF is that incessant beeping. I haven't been drinking the night before, but it felt like I had chugged a bottle of scotch. I too crashed out of bed, wiping out the nightstand in the process. Mrs. never even moved. Somehow my fogged brain realized what the noise was and I managed to get down the stairs. By now my vision was swimming and I was seriously dizzy. I grabbed my phone and get the front and back door open. Hit the 99999, then the rest is a blank. Cops were sent on blue lights as I was talking incoherent gibberish but managed to tell them. Somehow the co-alarm had gone off. They had also called the gas emergency and fire brigade. No idea how, but I had dragged son and daughter out and cat, and was heading in to get dog and Mrs. when the fire brigade arrived. We all required an overnight hospital stay on O2 therapy. Cat was fine, but dog needed oxygen at vets. The seal on the boiler had catastrophic failure. Gasman said it was one of the highest readings in a home emergency he had witnessed. We now have 4 co-alarms. My grandparents got carbon monoxide poisoning from an improperly installed furnace in a brand new house. They almost died. And my grandfather was never quite the same again after that. My older siblings tell me that he used to be a big jokester, always telling dirty jokes and making everybody laugh. When I knew him, he mostly just sat in the corner and occasionally would say a few words here and there. Carbon monoxide is no joke, folks. Did the same thing when my old landlord failed to install a vent for the gas dryer located in my bedroom closet. Started a cycle. Got real tired. Took a nap. Woke up in zero recollection from my bed to the hospital bed. Lived alone, but by some miracle I also had a gas leak coming from my stove, and my neighbor happened to come over to inquire on the rotten egg smell and became worried when I didn't answer the door. Sometimes when I'm frustrated I tell myself it's just time to take a lil dryer nap. A friend of mine had less luck than you had. He was a car mechanic and was working overnight on some client car that was supposed to be delivered that morning. Since he was working during the night, he had the garage door closed to make less noise and not get caught working after closing hours. He warned his GF he was coming home very late, so not to expect him for dinner and go to sleep without him. The next morning she woke up and he wasn't home yet. No phone call or message. Nothing from him. Called him but no answer. Later that morning when colleges opened the garage, he was there. Suffocated without even noticing. Still had his tools and some half-eaten sandwich next to him. It was a real mess and the car shop almost closed after that. His boss was acquitted of all charges. But we all knew he kind of forced him to work overnight and not get caught. Man. Glad you recovered. Something similar happened to me as a kid. But with a fireplace in a closed room. Didn't know that could happen so easily outside. That's crazy. I would have thought being out in the open with a bit of a breeze would have been fine too. It is pretty funny though that after you knock over the trash can you're like, fuck it. I'm not going to work today. Long story warning. Years ago, like 2014 I believe, my ex and I were house, dog sitting for some friends that went out of town for a week. The spare bedroom we stayed in was in the basement not too far from their furnace. I told my ex something smelled funny in the house, but we didn't think much about it. Fast forward to that night and we both have raging headaches. No biggie. It is cold and flu season, I'm sure we're both just getting sick. I went upstairs to grab something for my headache. And end up passed out on the kitchen floor. Again. Not a big deal. I'm anemic and that has happened before. Must remember to take my iron in the morning. I fell asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow and didn't wake up until the next morning when my ex shook me awake saying, "Come upstairs now. I need to tell you something." I figured there's nothing that important. Just let me sleep. He did this 2 to 3x before he finally dragged my ass out of bed and threw me in a cold shower with the windows open. While explaining to me he thinks we have CO poisoning and we need to get outside ASAP. Meanwhile I'm sitting in the water, fully clothed, and everything is a blur. I felt like I was absolutely trashed. He managed to dress me and take me outside, where the cold air helped to sober me up a bit, but I still felt hazy. We called their gas company to send someone out and do a reading. Sure enough, in the basement where we slept was the highest reading. He says, too high. He should not even be entering the building at these levels. Tells me the fact that I passed out then went to sleep. I should not have woken up. We contacted the friends and told them right away. They came home early from their trip to replace the furnace and put CO detectors on every floor. They paid for our oxygen treatment. But the effects of that took over a year to fully go away. TLDR. Had CO poisoning while staying at a friend's house. Almost died. And took over a year to recover from the effects of oxygen deprivation. Thanks for sharing, bud. Thanks for sharing, man. By the way, the curb you sat on. Do you remember how close is it to the car? Just curious about the range of it. Till CO poisoning can persist and not immediately be remedied by excessive oxygen intake. I have tears in my eyes. Thank goodness you're okay. Now I have to send this to my husband for awareness. Thank you for sharing.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.